So, you want to record yourself. My name is Liam R. Marchant, and I'm going to be running you through just some tips and tricks that I have to help boost whatever your current setup is and make it a little better. So first I want to start off with what it is we're going to be recording. If you're recording for something like an audition, whether it's music or it's just a talking thing, one of the ways that you can make a phone recording just a lot better if you're shooting video is to start recording in landscape. Because most mediums that people are going to be reviewing your submissions on are going to be laptops or computers. And if it comes in a portrait mode where you're holding the phone vertical, it's just going to look a little less professional than shooting it in landscape. The other biggest tip that I can give when recording on your phone is to first listen to it before you release it or submit it. And that's just because the actual quality of the recording. If you've practiced a piece for a long time, you're going to have it up to speed. And when you're recording something, you want to make sure that it's the highest quality of recording that you can get. And so the things you want to be checking for is lighting on yourself to make sure that you can be seen. You're not hiding in a shadow. And then you also want to make sure that the audio isn't clipping or distorting. One of the ways that you can make your either iPhone or Android setup a little bit better is a micro USB or lightning cable condenser microphone. I would recommend the Shure brand quality ones. I've used those for live setups, either at open mics at bars and at restaurants, and I've done live streams from it, and the audio quality from it is pretty solid. I would recommend it. Moving forward, the next step up that you can get is looking at USB microphones. Now, USB microphones are going to be inherently limited in recording functionality. They may have the quality that you're looking for, and if you're looking to just record one audio track at a time and not looking to do a whole lot of editing or live music, you don't. It's a perfect thing to get and invest in. One of the things that you want to look for when getting a USB mic is to make sure that it has a gain adjustment knob at the front or a way to adjust volume. I would recommend the Blue Yeti or the Samson USB microphones. I do like the Samson because it does have some additional dials on the front, and it also functions as an output audio card, so you can adjust your volume on your speakers as well from there. If you want to start building your home studio, there's a few places you got to start and just kind of take inventory of. And so the first thing that you want to look at are the specs on your computer to see if it's going to be able to handle high levels of audio latency, and also it's going to be able to handle whatever digital audio workstation you choose. So I would say that the minimum computer specs that you should have is an i5 processor and at least 4 gigabytes of RAM. And I would not recommend recording on a Google OS system. So it wouldn't really be the best idea to invest in a high quality Chromebook, for example. You're going to want to record either in Windows or Mac OS. And there's definitely a divide in terms of like music producers and music music composers and recording engineers when it comes to Mac versus Windows. I personally use Apple because I find that the workflow within Logic Pro, which is the digital audio workstation I use, to be my preferred workflow. And I also find that a lot of the audio latency issues that I've had with Windows aren't immediately coming up. You have to streamline some of your functions in Windows to handle the audio work that you'll be doing. And I'll link some videos in the description for helpful ways to optimize your PC for audio recording. Moving forward, there's some what are called digital audio workstations, and those are ways of recording yourself inside of a computer. And there are three main big ones that I would consider investing in. There are others, and there's also a handful of free ones. But if you want to start investing in your home studio, it's probably best to purchase one. Starting with the one that I use, Logic Pro X, it's unfortunately for Mac OS only, but it's highly versatile. It's used by professionals and amateurs. It's a really intuitive program, and it's basically the upgraded version of the free one that comes with your Mac operating system, GarageBand, which is also highly functionable, and you can definitely put out some professional sounding products with just using GarageBand. Next, I would say that you want to evaluate how you want to use your digital audio workstation. Do you want to use it to solely record yourself, or do you want to use it also in a live setting? If you're leaning more towards integrating like live looping or backing tracks for whatever performance that you want to do, I would check out Ableton Live. It's compatible with both PC and Mac. It has a great integrated live loops feature with it, and it's also very intuitive. If you're leaning more towards recording, I would suggest Cubase. I've worked in it before in a studio, and it's a great. It's very similar to Logic Pro. I don't have any complaints about it. It works great. But at the same time, whatever digital audio workstation is going to most connect with you and help you with your workflow, that's most important. There's people who have recorded amazing sounding albums using Audacity, which is a free program with a lot of limited capabilities compared to any of these three. An external audio card is going to take your physical analog signal from a microphone or a guitar, an amplifier, and convert it to a digital signal, as well as convert a digital signal to a physical signal on the output or the monitor output. These are the ones that I recommend. Focusrite put out the Scarlett series, which I think is just perfect for someone starting to build their home studio. They come in a variety of number of inputs, and they also come in packages that include a microphone, headphones, as well as XLR cables, or microphone cables. When you want to add a microphone to your arsenal, there's a few things that you should look at. There are two main types of the microphones that I want to talk about here. Dynamic microphones, which are essentially a speaker in reverse, and a condenser microphone. Dynamic microphones are great for louder sounding instruments, as well as vocals, and you put it directly on whatever it is you're recording. Condenser microphones are great for room mics, as well as picking up very quiet sounds where they are. Condenser microphones are going to be a little bit more expensive, and if you're looking to record your band or orchestra or choir, if you're a music educator, I would recommend getting 2 condenser microphones and setting them up on left and right side of the stage, and making sure that you have your input volume correct so that it doesn't distort, and you'd get a great quality recording just running through one of those Scarlett Focusrites. Say you don't have the money to invest in this right now. That's totally okay. There's a lot of resources available that people don't know about. I would check out your libraries. Some of them have recording equipment that you can check out for a few hours, or even recording equipment within the facilities. It's worth checking out, and also just making sure of whatever limitations there are with using a library's equipment. If you're a student, I would recommend checking out what resources your school has. Some of them have a microphone arsenal and equipment that you can use to record yourself. And if none of those options are available, I would look to see if there's any private studios or community studios where you live, and seeing if you can do work for them. One of the greatest ways to learn how to record is to watch other people record. And if you cultivate a relationship with those studios, a lot of the times they want to help support your musical vision. It does come with a little bit of time investment, but personally, I've found that my recording ability and recording process has greatly improved by just hanging around in studios and seeing what work I. In closing, I want to say that there's a lot of recording opportunities. If you're in a medium metropolitan area, it's going to be harder if you live in a rural area. But seeing if you can cultivate relationships even online with people who want to record. I've found audio engineers that really just like to be around musicians and record and don't really expect any monetary compensation in return, but just like recording people, and that's their passion. Not saying that every audio engineer is going to be like that, because at the end of the day, they do need to make a living. And recognizing that is also important. But this is definitely a place to start. And if you kind of look through the tier list of starting with phone recordings and USB microphones to eventually building up your home studio, it's a great development of you learning how to capture your sound. Additionally, it also begs the question of, like, what equipment do you need to get the job done? If you just need to record something for a demo for a restaurant to go perform there, a lot of the times, if you just send them a phone recording, that'll get the job done, and they'll recognize that you have, musical ability and are able to perform the gig. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like what you saw, consider checking out some of my other videos, and have a great day.